Chamber of Mines records 16% increase in job creation. Challenges of the fishing sector highlighted. Hello, good evening. Welcome to News Hour Live on GBC24 and GTV. My name is Shirley Annan. The Ghana Chamber of Mines says the sector recorded a 16% increase in job creation and indirect employment from the year 2015 to 2016. At the 89th AGM of the Chamber of Mines, the president of the Chamber of Mines, Mr. Kwame Adukufo, said the chamber will work to promote inclusiveness between the mining industry and its stakeholders.
Voluntary Private Sector Employers Association that represents companies and organizations engaged in the minerals and mining industry in Ghana. Statistics according to Reuters JFMS indicates that Ghana's gold output was largely unchanged at 95.0 tons in 2016 relative to 95.1 tons in 2015. GRA's study also indicates that the mining and quarrying sector recaptured its position as the leading source of direct domestic revenue. At the Chamber of Mines' 89th annual general meeting, the chief executive, Mr. Suleimanu Koni, said illegal mining assumed a scale that threatened the continuous operations of most of the mining companies. He says the chamber is hopeful that government's resolve to curb illegal mining will turn the situation around. There were solidarity messages from the Ghana Employers Association, Minerals Commission, AGI, PEF, Ghana Mine Workers Union, among others. The president of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Mr. Kwame Adokufo, said the total physical receipts attributable to the mining and quarrying sector increased to 1.65 billion Ghana cedis in 2016 from 1.35 billion cedis in 2015, representing a growth of 22%.
This comprised payments of 399 million, 696 million, 550 million, and $500,000 in payee, corporate income tax, royalties, and other taxes, respectively. Furthermore, the producing mines spent $1 billion on the purchase of goods and services in country, representing 31% of realized mineral revenue. This amount exceeded the 2015 figure of $865 million. The consecutive increase in spending on local goods and services by producing member companies mirrors the Chamber's commitment to promoting local content in the mining industry.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. John Peter Amewu, assured the Chamber of Government's resolve to address concerns of fast-tracking permission and overlapping roles of the EPA, the Minerals Commission, and the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation.
It is a known fact that in most of the mature provinces, there is always that high level of collaborations between the environment and then the Ministry of Mines. We are in discussion to see how possible the EPA can have a desk office within the Commission so that issues of transactions can be done within the shortest possible time.
The Ghana Chamber of Mines says it will adopt a strategy to encourage inclusiveness and also deepen integration of the non-mineral economy. These initiatives are expected to prop production this year. The AGM was on the theme, Sustaining Business Growth Through Innovation in Challenging Energy and Mining Environment.
The wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Samira Baumia, has urged teachers, particularly female teachers, to take their jobs seriously and be agents of quality education. Mrs. Baumia was speaking at the 10th graduation ceremony for 228 newly trained teachers at the St. Theresa College of Education at Hohoi in the Volta region.
Of 251 teacher trainees were admitted into the St. Teresa College of Education in October 2013 to pursue a 3-year diploma course in basic education. However, 228 have graduated after the successfully passed examinations conducted by the Institute of Education of the University of Cape Coast in June 2016. 6 students obtained first class, 53 second class upper division, 101 second class lower division, 59 had a third class division, and 9 obtained a pass. The principal of St. Teresa College of Education, Mrs. Angelina Kutintando, said despite the numerous challenges confronting the college, efforts are being made to develop the school into a world-class female teacher training education center.
The college is in dire need of additional hall of residence to accommodate the increased student enrollment in the college. As a result of insufficient staff bungalows, most of them reside in town. This situation does not augur well for good academic and supervisory work. Most of our GET fund projects have come to a standstill due to lack of funds, with particular reference to our ultra-modern assembly hall.
The program was on the theme, The Female Teacher, a tool for transforming society through the provision of quality basic education. The wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Samira Baumia, urged the graduate not to lose sight of their valuable contributions to the provision of quality basic education in the country.
In providing quality education, we cannot be oblivious to the importance of a sound teaching and learning environment, devoid of bickering and malice. Women around the world are proving themselves in every sphere of life. Women are rising to face the challenges every day, and the world is full of applause. This, however, was only achieved by the dint of hard work, zeal, and dynamism.
Mrs. Baumia was presented with a special award for her mentoring role in the lives of female Ghanaian youths. Special awards were also presented to deserving students for their outstanding academic performance.
A selected group of media personnel recently undertook a tour of fishing communities in Ghana. They learnt at first hand some of the challenges facing fisherfolks. These include pollution of the sea, illegal fishing, low level of hygiene and sanitation, and dwindling fish stocks. The project tour was organized by the University of Cape Coast and USAID.
The tour of landing beaches began at Shama, the capital of the Shama district, situated in the western region of Ghana, where most of its inhabitants are predominantly fishermen. Shama is located at the point where River Pra joins the sea, known in the local language as Baka. Its main historical relic is Fort San Sebastian, but now the mainstay of the people is under threat. This came to light when a group of journalists and facilitators from the University of Cape Coast Fisheries and Coastal Management, in collaboration with USAID, visited landing beaches including that of Shama and interacted with fishermen. The secretary to the chief fisherman, Nana Enu Basau, and members of the community enumerated challenges facing canoe fishermen, including pollution of the Pra River. Illegal mining was blamed for the bad state of the river, which empties itself into the sea at Shama.
Factors responsible for the pollution of River Pra are many. All those eking their livelihood from the river are contributors to the problem. So addressing the problems will not only be to the benefit of people of Shama, but to the whole country.
Another challenge facing the fishing business is light fishing. A unit committee member, Mr. Francis Kobner, said light fishing is unacceptable because illegal fishers lure fishes to one place and use dynamite to kill them.
Here we don't have any work, only fishing that we are doing here. It is affecting us because sometimes ago we invited white men. They came here for tourism because of our river. 1 month or so. Some of them came here and then they see that our river has changed. They asked us why, and we said because of Galamsey, that is why our river has changed, and it is affecting our community members because some of them fetch the water and drink because of the water has become leaky. They didn't drink.
The next stop was the Albert Busumtwisam Fishing Harbour at Sekondi. It serves as a home to 2 types of vessel trawlers and canoes. Some of the issues raised by the fishermen were dwindling fish stock, interference of authorities in landing site issues, and the use of light for fishing, among others. The secretary of the chief fisherman at the Albert Busumtwisam Harbour is Nana Pra.
In recent times, fishers complain of dwindling fish stock, but what I say is that it is not only in our waters, it is happening in other places too. I see it as the work of God and bad fishing practices like light fishing.
The next landing site visited was Axim, where the Yankuba River joins the sea. Here too, the main preoccupation of the people is fishing. Led by the chief fisherman of Lower Axim, Nana Kofi Bento, the people told the journalist that they have resolved not to indulge in bad practices such as light fishing and use of nylon net for fishing. Because holes of the nylon net are tiny, they harvest even the tiniest of fishes, thus making it difficult for the sea to recover on time. According to a fisherman, though government has subsidized fishing inputs such as outboard motors, not all fishermen can procure them. They appeal to government to extend scholarships to children of fishermen, just as it is done for cocoa farmers. According to them, they will embrace fully the concept of alternative livelihood if government were to assist them to own fish ponds and so on. They pointed out that the marine police are not effective because they lack logistics to deal with illegal practices, including pearl trawling. One town in Ghana noted for fishing is Elmina. The chief fisherman, Nana Duncan, said the depletion of fish stock in the Ghanaian waters is severe when the lean season sets in. Issues discussed included cycle or transshipment, where fish is sold on the sea, leading to loss of revenue, as well as sale of bad fish to unsuspecting buyers. Poisons used by some fishermen also came up, and they said these chemicals are dangerous to the health of consumers. This was in response to the question of whether they were aware that there is an increase in lung cancer cases in some fishing communities.
Those of us engaged in the fishing business are doing our part, and we expect government to do its part. Even if government deploys law enforcement personnel in our waters, we also have a role to play.
At Botiano Landing Beach in the Greater Accra region, the chief fisherman, Adama Tete, mentioned sand winning as their number one problem, as well as illegal fishing.
We shouldn't wait for things to deteriorate before we find solutions. Government should sensitize the people on the need to stop sand winning.
Open defecation is a common practice along the beaches, and Botiano is no exception. From Greater Accra region, the team landed at Keta in the Volta region. The session with the fishermen at Keta revealed that petroling is a headache to the fishing community there. The chief fisherman, Toby Gada Yauvi, alleged that the illegal fishing practices are done by fishermen from other fishing communities.
Saying that those of them who lives around this place, they are not the ones that this kind of light fishing. People from Adan, Bambram, and other places, they come here and do that event. Some time ago, they've arrested some of them, and then they've given them to the police to worship them.
Chemical usage and the use of monofilament nets were high on the list of problems facing these fishermen at Qatar. They appealed to government to assist them to build places of convenience.
We are appealing for the dredging of the lagoon so that we can get bumper harvest when we go fishing. Some people are using acid to fish, so government should help address it.
Access to credit is also a border to both the fishermen and the fishmongers at Qatar. Azizanya, Adafo, was the next town on the radar of the researchers from the Cape Coast University and the journalists. Mr. Tei Otibu represented the chief fisherman of Azizanya, Adafo.
Our challenge is when we don't have enough petrol, the fish goes bad by the time we arrived at shore. But when we have fuel, it runs out within 2 weeks. Therefore, we are appealing for adequate supply of fuel.
He said that some time ago, one of his men collaborated with the Navy to seize a generator that was being used for light fishing. But for some strange reason, it was returned to the intruding fishermen. Getting alternative livelihood for the fishermen was high on the occasion at Azizanya and therefore Mary Akwete from Bonikope said the Songo Lagoon is their source of livelihood and are doing everything possible to protect it. She condemned the use of omo and other substances for fishing.
What we know is that people use gari and omo for fishing, but doctors have advised that using substances for fishing is not good for our health. So we are advising that the right thing should be done.
At the end of the tour, it became clear that preventing fishers from over-exploiting the marine resources using unapproved method and chemicals for fishing as well as polluting water bodies are having a dire consequence on Ghana's socio-economic development. Experts say the antidote is simple change of attitude towards the environment, including rivers, lakes, lagoons and the sea.
You're still watching News Hour Live on GBC24. Child Evangelism Fellowship CEF has advised parents, guardians and Sunday school teachers that children are the future generation of Ghana and ought to be given religious guidance to be responsible adults. This will ensure children grow up grounded in the virtues espoused by Jesus Christ.
Child Evangelism Fellowship, CEF, is Bible-centered non-denominational fellowship of born-again believers whose purpose is to evangelize to children and establish them in Christianity. Child Evangelism Fellowship Incorporated was founded in 1937 by Jesse Irvin Overholtzer in the United States of America. In Ghana, the ministry was initiated by a Jamaican in 1971. As part of its mission, the Accra East region of CEF is to reach out to every child in every community with the gospel of Christ. The conference for pastors, Christian leaders and children ministry teachers was part of activities to mark CEF's 80th anniversary worldwide and 46 years in Ghana. The main speaker and a senior minister of Christian evangelistic ministries, Reverend Dr. Kutu Bamford, said children are blessings from God and precious gift to parents and the entire society. Therefore, the need to guard and handle them jealously. He urged Sunday school teachers to be generational in their thinking as they teach the little ones in their care.
When I saw the children coming, my heart just leapt. Because if you can catch them that young, most of the problems of Ghana will be solved. This army officer that was killed at Denchira, he was killed by the youth. So if even at that young age, you do not have any value as to what life means, then what will happen when you grow and you can take a whole lot of things into your hands? That is why the need of the hour now is to catch them young.
Participants were taken through lessons such as effective ways of evangelizing and techniques of teaching children such as puppetry, clowning, and good news clubs.
Health experts in the country say malaria cases and fatality have reduced in the first quarter of this year. In view of this, the Presbyterian Worship Center at Presec, Legon, organized a public health screening exercise to promote awareness.
Over 100 adults and children were screened for malaria, blood sugar level, and blood pressure. The exercise forms part of efforts to bring health care closer to the doorstep of the people. The leader of the medical group from Lekma Hospital, Dr. Joseph Daniel, throws light on the screening.
One issue that has come up is about the need for compliance to medication. There are a few people who feel that because they've taken the medications for a while, it might not be necessary to continue. But we would want to emphasize that diabetes and hypertension are diseases which require lifelong management. And so there's a need to continue taking the BP medicine and then the diabetes medicine. Compliance is very important.
The resident minister of the church, Reverend Erasmus Mensalai, advised the public to be conscious of their health and take regular health checkups seriously to stay healthy.
We believe in our church that it's our responsibility to attend to the less privileged in society. And that is why we are doing this at no cost to the people who come here. We've realized that quite a number of them have high BP, so we are also giving them first aid and directing them to the various hospitals to go and do thorough checkups there.
The church leaders say they hope to continue with the exercise every year.
Wafa recorded the biggest win on match day 17 of the Ghana Premier League. They beat Accra Hearts of Oak by 5-0. The win has pushed Wafa to the summit of the league log. Here are the results. Tema Youth 0, Liberty Professionals 0, Kumasi Kotoko 1, Great Olympics 1, Brekum Chelsea 3, Adriana Stars 2, Bechem United 2, Wa All Stars 0, Obwasi Ashgold 3, Dwarfs 0. At Elmina Sharks 2, Mediama 0, and Tamale Bolga All Stars 1, and Inter Allies 1, Siga Copper Wafa 5, Hearts of Oak 0. And that's all in sport. Up next is entertainment. And now to some entertainment stories. As part of events lined up to mark Australia's National Reconciliation Week, the Australian High Commission in Ghana has organized a fashion show in Accra to showcase indigenous Australian and Ghanaian textiles.
Keeping up appearances, you could notice,
The event was a gathering for lovers of fashion. The Australians opened the show
with a display of made in Australia textiles.
Now I'm fucked up and I'm missing you. I'll never be like you. I would give anything to change this fickle-minded heart that loves fake shiny things. Now I'm fucked up and I'm missing you. I'll never be like you. I'm only human, can't you see?
Then it was followed by an exhibition of indigenous Ghanaian textiles, spiced with some artworks. The Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, Mr. Andrews Barnes, said the event is meant to create an avenue for both Australian and Ghanaian designers to collaborate.
Today we will look at weeding and overhead shade reduction.
Weed control. Weeds compete with your cocoa trees for nutrients. They take out nutrients from the soil that should go to the cocoa tree. They attract insects and diseases onto your farm, so you must weed your farm regularly so that the cocoa trees get enough food and essential nutrients to produce more healthy pods.
Overhead shade reduction. Shade trees help to regulate drought during the dry season. However, if there are too many of them, they cause high humidity, which causes diseases like black pod disease. There should be 5 to 6 trees per acre. To kill unwanted trees, use your cutlass to remove the bark of the excess trees. Coat the exposed area with engine oil or salt water. This kills the tree slowly. First, the leaves drop to the ground, and then the branches fall before finally the trunk dies. Less humidity will make your pods grow strong and healthy.
Watching the weather report right here only on GTV.
Thank you for watching news on GBC24 and GTV. Have a good evening.